will not make money the first chance. Don't come into the game, and I'm being very truthful here, don't come into the game if you don't have what it takes. You're wasting your time, and that is the honest truth. If you're ready for it, you have to be fully ready. I'm there, but I need it to get to there, or I need it to grow a lot more. Hey everyone, so for today I wanted to do quite a different video. It's more or less to do with the mindset I've had to acquire and the skills that it is required to obviously start this whole journey. I think for anyone really wanting to get into property investments, that goes for all different types of strategies that's out there, from your rent to rent, commercial to resi schemes, BRRRs, flips, ground development. I think it's very, very important to try and have very, very strong core abilities. I think for me personally, I think it's subject to per person. But I think for me personally, I think one of the biggest things I've faced is my patience level. And it's funny because when it comes to patience, you don't really know exactly how much is required, because obviously you deal with so many different things all the time. And I think it's quite interesting to really see it all kind of turn out, because it's all based per case. What I mean by that is there's going to be certain situations or scenarios where when you're dealing with your builders, you could easily be irritated about certain things that can come from certain instructions that you set out that wasn't actually performed right, materials not being delivered on time, the architect not possibly giving you the drawings on the set deadline that you need it to be, and even just your broker and your solicitor trying to make sure you complete on time, depending on how creative you bought the property in the first place or acquired the property. So for me, I think where I am now, I'm still in early stages. I have done quite a few projects on the back end before YouTube, but I think now fully on going into it heads on and doing a bit more my own independent projects, I think it's quite interesting to see how the growth level has to be. I'm still figuring it out, but I thought I'd do a quick video today just to discuss what I'm feeling, and just for anyone that's really wanting to get involved in property, because I think it's very, very vital that you know these things. You don't want to just get in it because you think it's a quick rich get scheme. You will not make money the first chance. You wouldn't. That even if it goes from just controlling assets, it doesn't always have to be the case of actually acquiring them or per se, but it's a journey. It's a pathway, and I think it's like when you put in your GPS, you want to go to Costco or Tesco's. You have to go through certain certain motorways, you have to go to certain streets, certain traffic lights. It's the exact same place, but you still get to the end destination. Sometimes you'll hit a curveball where it kind of diverts you to a different angle, but it's just about having the tenacity. So the two skills I wanted to talk about today, which I think I'm there, but I need it to get to there, or I need it to grow a lot more, is tenacity and patience. I think I haven't got the full max yet, and I think it's something I want to work on. But I think it's very, very vital for everyone to get it, because on your day-to-day life, being a property developer and investor, it's always constant. There's never going to be the case of where you're going to need a bit less today, if that makes sense. And it's not going to be the case of where your 100% that you think you have is going to, match what's there. There's a lot of factors. So when it comes to property investments, there's a lot of people involved within that whole industry. It's not just you buying a property thinking that's it, or you just controlling someone else's property thinking that's it. There's a lot of people involved within that whole process. It can go from your agents, it can go from your solicitors, your brokers, your architect, your builders. Even you yourself can play a part in it as well. And I think even when you're even investing remotely as well, that can also be a challenge in itself. But I think it's very, very important for everyone to truly understand these two skills, because if you're not very careful, what can actually happen is you can lose control of it, and once you lose control of it, you can mess up on a deal, and it can really affect your growth. It can kind of kill it in a way, because your motivation and everything else behind it kind of just deflates. So I think it's very, very key you build these two skills. So if you do want to get involved in property, make sure you have patience and tenacity. I've done a couple projects before YouTube and before social media. I've been involved with a lot of projects because I'm from a construction background. And I think one of the biggest things is making sure you have the right power team. Now with a power team, the thing interesting about power teams is you always feel like you have the perfect power team, but it gets to certain situations where you're faced with a new challenge, and the power team that you have, they might not perform as excellent that you thought they would in a way. So sometimes you might have to play around with them a little bit in case of churning in, bringing someone else into the table, taking some people out of the table or the equation, and trying to see how it all fits out, because there's going to be certain places where everyone is put to the test. Even you yourself, you're put to the test. So it's very, very important to try and make sure you fully understand that whole angle. and realize that you're always learning, you're always trying to build your power team. It's always going to be the case of where it's always revised, always revamped. Don't ever feel like you've done it once at the very beginning so you can now start your journey and you're going to get there to the end. It won't happen. It wouldn't happen. I'm so sorry, but it wouldn't. There's no one that can tell me they've found the power team from the very beginning and they're using that exact same power team to the very end. There's always going to be different people that come involved, and that comes from your builders. Some of your builders might not even turn up to jobs. They might let you down in certain situations. Your broker might go on holidays, or your agent might go on holidays. And again, I'm saying holidays because when you need to communicate with them, the email reply you get, automatic replies you get, it tests your patience a lot. So you got to remember these skills from the very beginning I discussed. It's very, very important that you do have them. The challenge I've faced recently, I would say, is to do with one member of my power team. Now, the power team is changing. There are new people that are coming on board, and there are people already there that are getting off. And again, you don't really know how strong your power team is unless you face that experience or you face that challenge. So I don't know how to put it in a way where I don't say it blatantly, but I think the power team that I have now, it's not the strongest because we're faced with challenges where we need to change. And once it's not strong, what happens is it causes delays, and once there's delays, it affects the whole timeline of the project. And when this timeline gets affected, it affects the whole deal in itself in regards to how long your money's left in the deal. Now, this is applicable for someone controlling a property for a rent-to-rent, or someone actually buying a property in itself. It's all the exact same thing. It changes based on the scenario, but the actual core principles behind it's all the exact same. So one of my power team members, they were meant to deliver a certain piece of work at a certain period of time. They weren't able to do that. Now, because they haven't been able to do that, it affected everyone else throughout the whole build or the whole process of even just buying the property in itself. And until now, the thing is, you can repair it then, but what happens is down the line, it does leave a massive ripple effect where everything does crumble down. So I think it's very key for absolutely everyone to make sure, keep your head up high and just keep going, because there's no one on this earth that wants to do everything. There's going to be certain things we face where it might be very, very difficult. I think there's a saying that if it was easy, everyone would do it. And you don't really truly understand what it means until you're actually facing that industry or facing that scenario. I've just had one recently last week, and I was just venting it out on my Instagram. And the amount of people that reached out to me it's nice to see that people want to see you win, the people around you. But at the same time, it showed you that if it was easy, everyone would want to do it. Not everyone wants to be a bin man, but there's some people that are bin men. Not everyone wants to be an architect. There's people that want to be an architect. Not everyone wants to be a property developer. Not everyone wants to be a teacher. Not everyone wants to be a doctor, a nurse. But the people that actually have the strength to actually do these careers, they stick to it, if that makes sense. And that's why there's so many different people out there in the world. If everyone wanted to be a millionaire, the way the world would be very, very different. Of course, everyone wants to try to get to that certain level, but there's certain things that come into play with your happiness, and goes to the question of how much money do you need before you're fully happy, in a way. So I think regarding all these things, they do play a massive part in regards to the decisions you make. Now, you got to remember, the business you build, it's your business. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. Your power team, unfortunately, as much as you think it's their business, it's not. It's your business. So because it's your business, so you want it to run the way you want it to be. So I can't, let's say I'm expected to get X, Y, Z done at a certain time period, and then I put that pressure on my builder. Unfortunately, my builder can let me down very easily, and it won't affect him in any shape or form. But unfortunately to me, it does, because it's my business. So no one's really going to be invested into your own business apart from yourself, and that's the honest truth. And that's something you have to get comfortable with and get to the idea of, look, people here are for the short term, some are long term, depending on how well you grow together. But the biggest key message here is don't be emotional about the whole process. That goes from finding deals. Don't be too emotionally attached. Don't be too emotionally attached in a level of where you get upset if anything is to happen to the deal in case it falls through, or there's delays before it actually gets executed, actually implemented. So I just wanted to just vent to you guys again, just to talk to you guys about the behind the scenes. And these are the things that I'm facing and I'm seeing a lot. And I think it's quite interesting because not a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people on social media make it seem all nice and bloomy, but really and truly there's a lot of things behind it where you have to have that level of patience to fully get a grasp of it all. Again, it goes with like setting goals. Sometimes when you're faced with like challenges and unfortunate situations, you feel like you want to just take a step back and forget your goals. You want to kick back a second and just be like, oh, I can't do it anymore because I'm faced with X, Y, and Z. Could be when you actually need to get an evaluation you need to get to actually exit the strategy that you're in, or it could be the case of you need someone to buy it, or whatever it might be, or you just need finance, which again is another whole sector in itself. I'm telling you now, if you want to be a property developer, you need cash. There's no such thing as no money down deal. It does not exist. But you can get your money back at the end, and that's why people say it's a no money down deal, because you get your money back, everything you've invested. But that's if you've done the execution the right way. And I think at the beginning I was sold the dream of everything is free, everything is going to be amazing. I just need to find an investor and everything else will be all dandy and lions. But really and truly, there's a lot of playing parts, and I think you have to get comfortable with the idea of being an orchestra. When you go to like a theatre, for example, you have to literally get everyone to play the song with you. You can't play without the drummer, you can't play without the trumpeter. I don't know if that's a saying, that kind of thing. But all these things, they all matter in a way, and you're going to be faced with a lot of problems, and you have to be ready to become a problem solver. Don't sit on your problems for too long, because really and truly, the minute you sit on them for too long, it does kill you internally, and it kind of just deflates you a lot. So these are things you have to make sure you have the right mindset for, and it's very, very key. Don't come into the game, and I'm being very truthful here, don't come into the game if you don't have what it takes. You're wasting your time, and that is the honest truth. If you're ready for it, you have to be fully ready in all aspects of it, and this is some of the things you have to be ready for, and you have to make sure you're ready to go ahead and play the game. You got to make sure you're ready to be the ref. Because ideally, that's what you are. You're the ref and the coach, and you're the players all at the same time. You're even the ball sometimes, and even the field. So, again, this is just a bit of a BTS with what I'm currently facing. And I think it's nice to put that out there as well for people to see. To kind of see exactly what's been happening and what's going on. The power team I have are okay. They are not the best, and I'll own up to it. They are building. It is building, sorry. And I am building it. Me and my business partner. But it will grow. And over time, we'll realize the people we need and the people we don't. And it's completely fine. And we're ready for that. And again, you have to have these two skills, patience and tenacity. If there's any other skill that you think is required, please leave a comment in below and let me know what you think, and we can have a discussion from there. If you got this far, I want to say thank you very much. That means you actually listened to what I said. And I'm very, very pleased with that. So before you guys go, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember to keep your head up high. Thank you. Bye.